For more than 150 years, an old system of boarding schools separated Native American children from their families in the U.S. The Interior Department says there used to be more than 400 of these schools here. Some of them were responsible for the deaths of more than 500 children. Canada also had Indigenous schools. Last year, the remains of more than 200 children were found where one Indigenous school once stood. Some of the children were as young as 3. And this is where the family injustice comes in. It's a story of cultural erasure, sexual abuse, and the search for closure. But for one woman, her search for answers raised a new question. Are you sure you want to know? Joining us now is investigative journalist Connie Walker. She is the host of Stolen: Surviving St. Michael's. Ms. Walker, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before we dive in, fair warning, everyone, this conversation involves descriptions of physical and sexual abuse against children, so please take care if those subjects are triggering for you. With that said, tell us about these Indigenous schools in Canada. Why were they set up and what did they do?
Well, the goal was actually really simple. It was meant to be a tool for forced assimilation of Indigenous children. They were set up at a time in Canadian history where the Canadian government was trying to quell Indigenous resistance and take control over Indigenous lands. And they thought a tool in helping them achieve those goals would be to separate Indigenous children from their families so that they could be assimilated. And the result of that, is really a 100-year legacy that we're only now beginning to understand. But what we have learned is that children were prohibited from speaking their language. They went to these schools as young as 4, 5, 6 years old. They were punished for practicing their culture. And there was also widespread abuse in these schools. Most of these schools were run by the church, most of them the Catholic Church. And there were over 100 schools across the country that have left these devastating legacies on Indigenous families and communities like mine.
Generations of your family went to one school in particular, St. Michael's Residential School, and the podcast centers around your search for answers with regard to your father, who was allegedly abused by a priest there. We want to play a quick clip from the podcast, one of the key kind of pivotal moments in the storyline of this podcast. And again, some of this material is rather disturbing, but highly, highly compelling in terms of what this meant to your family. Listen.
There are 2 photos of teenage boys changing in a locker room.
Oh my God, one guy looks like he's completely naked in this picture. But why would he take pictures of them undressing?
There's not a single mention of abuse at St. Michael's in these archives, but there is this picture of a naked boy in a priest's file.
Tell us more about that moment you found that picture of the boy and the priest. Where did that lead you?
This journey started with a story that I heard about my father, about how as an adult, he was a police officer in rural Saskatchewan. And one night while on patrol, he pulled over a car he suspected of drinking and driving. And when he got to the driver's side window, he recognized the man behind the wheel as the priest who had abused him at St. Michael's at that residential school. And when I heard this story last year, it really stopped me in my tracks and made me want to learn more about my father's experience at this residential school. And so I also then wanted to learn about the order of priests that ran that school for over 80 years. And so I started, investigating these priests and learning about which priests were there. And it wasn't long until I started hearing stories of which priests were known to be the abusive priests. And so that clip is actually from a trip that I took to the public archives in Alberta, where the Oblates of Mary Immaculate, which is the Catholic order of priests that ran the school, where they have given over some of their documentation from the residential school. And it was in a priest's file that I saw this sheet of negatives. And as I held it up to the light, I could see that it was a picture of boys changing in a locker room and that one of the boys was naked. And it was a shocking discovery because, so much of what the Catholic Church and so much of what the Oblates of Mary Immaculate what they've done, since they started running these schools, is really also trying to, I think, keep some documents to themselves. There are some documents that they say that they will not release until after 50 years after a priest has died. And so for us to find this in a folder felt really compelling. And it really helped me realize that, this is a story that was about my father, who was at this school when he was 6 years old and who was abused by a priest. But it's also a bigger story about trying to uncover what the truth was in this school, just how many abusive priests walked those halls, how many children experienced abuse at this school. And for me, as an investigative journalist, it's important to also try to ask these important questions around accountability. And we're not aware of a single priest from that school, a single oblate priest from that school who was ever charged for the abuse, but we know that it was widespread.
We heard from one of our viewers who listened to your podcast. Shannon emailed, listening to Connie's interviewees talk about leaving their families and homes at such a young age to go to the residential school hit me hard. I remember how hard it was to walk away from my dad the first day of kindergarten. I can't imagine how devastated I would have been if I didn't get to see him again at the end of the day. I can only imagine how lonely and isolating it felt to be away from loved ones, unable to speak your language, and scolded for being homesick. As an American, I knew a little about our history with residential schools, but I didn't even know residential schools existed in the 20th century, let alone until 1996. Shannon, thank you very much for sharing that with us. I wonder, in the time we have left before I got to let you go, I listened to the podcast, I've heard all the episodes so far. Wow, it's just devastating and damning and awful, but also illuminating to an aspect of Indigenous culture that I kind of knew, but didn't really know. The Secretary of Interior now in the U.S., Deb Haaland, is of tribal descent, and she's been working hard to kind of unearth the story of these schools in the U.S. Where do you hope this goes from here? It was clear from the podcast that some folks you spoke to were like, don't go digging under this dirt. All you'll get is dirty. Like, don't go through all of this pain. But you've chosen to go through it and unearth it. Where do you hope this goes from here?
I really want to correct the record, around not just residential schools and the truth around residential schools, but really help people understand the Indigenous people. We've been here, longer than anyone. And so much of our story, so much of our history has been left uncovered, has been hidden, has not been brought to light. And I feel like, that's one of my goals as a journalist, is to help bring these stories forward, to help amplify Indigenous voices where, they're so important. They're more crucial than they have ever been. But we can't even begin to understand, the situations we're in now until we confront the truth about our past. And that's really the goal for this podcast. It's about my father and wanting to find out who his abuser is and what happened to this priest, what happened to this man. But it really is also, I think, a story that so many Indigenous families are resonating with, because we all have this shared history that has been ignored for far too long.
Before I let you go, what about you? Have you found any closure or peace from investigating all of this?
Honestly, it's, this has really felt in a lot of ways like a healing journey for me. I think that my father's experience in that residential school really shaped and impacted our relationship, and not in a good way. We were not very close for most of my life. In doing this podcast, I feel like I've been interviewing my aunts and uncles who were at the school with my dad, talking to my other siblings who had a better relationship with him. And I really have felt like I've gotten to know my dad in a new way. And my only regret is that I didn't do this sooner, before he passed away in 2013, because I've learned what a remarkable man he was, and just so incredibly proud to call myself his daughter. And I hope that he would be proud of the work that we're doing as well.
The podcast is called Stolen: Surviving St. Michael's. It's on Spotify. Connie Walker, if I may be so bold, I think you honor your father's memory by telling his story, the good and the bad, and trying to get the truth about what happened to him. I'm so honored to have heard the story and to have had a chance to talk to you about it tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.